Welcome, everyone, to Jacksonville, Florida, a city nestled up against the Atlantic with the St. John splitting it in two. We are here. The weather outside is hot and humid, but we are not worried about it because today we are at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena here for the start of the 2022 Championship Tour for Street League Skateboarding. Hey everybody, I'm your host Andrew Cannon, joined by Jeff Rowley and Sean Malto. Jeff, how are you feeling today?
I feel jazzed up today, man. I'm stoked. We're back in the arena, and what a course we have today. I'm excited to see everybody skate, but particularly Raisa Leal. Like, after last year's dominating gold win at just 13 years old in Lake Havasu, she is a force to be reckoned with, a total phenomenon. She's setting the standard of women's skating, and she's grown since then and has notably more power and did not have a problem qualifying into the finals today. But the big question on my mind is this: what tricks has she saved for the finals today?
Yeah, Raisa is absolutely looking amazing out there, but we've got to talk about Yumika Oda, qualified in second place. Sean, what do you think about Yumika?
Yeah, Raisa's definitely brought the level of skateboarding up in this contest. But Yumika, she's a technical skater. She has a deep bag of tricks, but we all know that the big section's going to score the most points. So I think she's going to have to step it up and, you know, hit the big section and actually score some points.
This is the Road to the Super Crown presented by Smirnoff Ice Smash. So we are at our first stop of the season in Jacksonville, Florida. Next up, we've got Seattle, Washington, and then Las Vegas, Nevada. After those three stops, we're going to take the cumulative tour points, and the top four are going to qualify straight into the Super Crown World Championship down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. From there, the rest of the field is going to come down, all looking to qualify and get those other four coveted spots to get into the finals. This is the basics brought to you by Tech Deck. So for the finals, we've got the line section, 2 45-second line attempts. Then we go into single tricks with 4 single trick attempts. It's all about your top line score and your top 2 single trick scores. Now, once in the finals, we are going to then take the top 4, drop the bottom, and we're going to have 2 more single trick attempts in the super final to see if we can improve upon any of those scores. Let's meet these skaters. First skater in from Brazil, we've got 24-year-old Gabriela Mazzetto.
And next we have Rose Zwetsloot, 21 years old, from Amsterdam, Holland. Total ripper.
Next up, the local girl we've got from Jacksonville, Florida, 17 years old, Poe Pinson.
And then next up we have Aori Nishimura from Japan, 20 years old, regular stance.
Last year's SLS Super Crown World Champion from Brazil, 22 years old, Pamela Fossa.
And next we have total ripper, total rail ripper, Momiji Nishia, 14 years old, from Osaka, Japan. Big contender.
Another young ripper out of Japan, 15 years old, Yumika Oda.
And last but certainly not least, Raisa Leal, 14 years old, absolute phenomenon. She's the one to beat today.
That is our finalist right there, and it is going to be incredible. I'm so excited to see the skateboarding go down, but before we do that, let's check in with the third member of our team, Alex White, down there on the course.
Hey guys, so excited here. During the women's practice, I spoke with Poe Pinson. She's an SLS rookie. This is her first SLS ever, and she's made it to the finals. She said she's really going to focus in on those best trick attempts. She's looking to kickflip, no slide, that out ledge maybe. All in all, this is going to be a really exciting final, and I can't wait to watch women kick it off right here, right now.
Thank you, Alex. Ooh, I like that. Getting a little bit of that background information, kind of, you know, sharing the secrets of the final. It's going to be exciting. We're starting things off with the line section. It's going to be 2 45-second lines. Then we move into single tricks. Keep in mind, one of these lines counts, and we're kicking it off with Gabriela Mazzetto.
Nice frontside board slide. Start things out. Gabriela keeping good speed. Tweaked ollie into a nice lip slide.
Sean, how are those nerves? First run in the finals, first skater.
It's always so hard to be the first skater in because you got to set the bar. You have no idea what the other competitors are going to be doing. But Gabby's doing a good job staying on her board, trying to put together a good score.
Kickflip board just gets away from her. That's going to be the final trick.
We saw that kickflip front board yesterday in the line. That was really helpful with that first score. Hopefully she can make it on that second line.
She looked pretty strong and confident there. She didn't look shaky at all, being the first skater.
Yeah, she looked good. All of her ollies, the board stayed on her feet very well. That board slide through the kink, perfect. I think for that kickflip front board, it's definitely a little harder to get speed going back up the course that way. So she just needs to pump a little harder on that ollie over the bump to bump.
Always bringing a good attitude and a smile too, though.
Our incredible panel of judges taking their time in a 2.5 on line number 1 for Gabby. Next in, Rose Sweatslot. What are we going to see from Rose out there, Jeff?
Rose, is, to me, just looks very comfortable on her board. She's got more of a traditional kind of street skating background, so she flows pretty well. She isn't one of those linear skaters that just goes backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. She has a little bit of carve to her skate too, which I like. Nice frontside feeble. She's got a good bag of tricks too.
Yeah, she's really good at skating rails, and there's a lot of rails on this course, so it definitely suits her.
Nice combos, frontside, board side, looking good out there. Good energy today. I feel a real solid balance of energy. That was
Look
sick.
at that.
Quick heel flip and a power slide. Oh, now if she can fit that in.
That was strategy. Did the heel flip, literally stopped on a dime, turned around and was like, let me get this now.
And it's always important to flip your board in the run too, just to break up the variety a little bit.
A nice 50 crooked grind that slipped out into nose slide. There's that clean board slide, setting herself up for a nice front side. Board slide. It's a long rail right there too. Clean. She'll feel good about that. 45 seconds goes pretty quick, though. You got to hustle it in. You have to time your run. That's part of it.
This course is set up nicely for that. Look at that, 6.0, setting the bar. Rose kicking things up a notch. But I'm very excited to move on because we've got Poe Pinson. Look at this, Street League debut from Jacksonville, and the crowd is getting behind her. Sean, what's that like? You've dealt with being the hometown hero at one of these events.
Definitely, and that honestly was the most nervous I've ever been in Street League in my entire life, so I think a lot of pressure's on Poe right now.
Do you think the additional pressure of having like her family around and people that know her as much? Cause
family, friends, the crowd was definitely energized to see her in intros, but this is definitely a solid start for her.
She looks like she's feeding off of it.
She's very much a street skater too as well, you can see, right?
Yeah, she has that street aspect to her for sure.
Solid crooked grind. Nice feed.
Yes.
This is looking pretty epic.
All right, so the full run, how does that stack up against Rose? Oh my gosh! Slamming into Pamela.
Pamela taking out the local.
That's tactics right there.
I was going to say. All right, so how does that run stack up against Rose right here? Talk us through it, guys.
I like this run a lot. It flowed very nicely. You know, Rose definitely started on the big section, and she kind of got a little gnarlier, but Po strung it together nice. She flowed very nice. She had a lot of variety. And the feebling that long kind of fat circle rail is definitely a lot harder because it's a little easier to slip in the board slide when the rail is that fat.
Look at that, 6.6. The judges thought it was top notch. So the standard right now has been set by Po Pinson with a 6.6. Next in, Ori Nishimura, a past Super Crown world champion.
Starts off with a solid crooked grind. Into that feeble through the king. It's Ollie into frontside feeble. Interesting way that she locked into that frontside feeble there.
Definitely got a little dicey, but she pulled it off.
Board slide into the frontside board slide. Putting together quite a lot of two-trick combinations. Beautiful kick flip. Nice clean rotation and good catch. Here's the final trick. Ollie over the big gap.
Yeah, that was perfectly timed, ending on the big section right at the buzzer.
I love this new format. I love that one of the lines must count. It's really showed. You can see it in everyone skating. They're putting so much more emphasis and time into making sure these lines are really well done.
Yeah, the pressure starts immediately now that the line counts. You really have to put up a good score right off the bat to give yourself a little room.
How does this one stack up against Poe's? Did she have all of the stuff?
I don't think she had. Well, you know what I mean? It's apples and oranges. She did great. She covered the course the same. Similar.
6.3. All right, so not at the same level as Poe's, but a little above Rose.
Did an equal amount of tricks. Covered the course well. Now, I am excited to see her skate.
Two-time SLS Super Crown champion. Pamela knows how to do it. Look at this speed she's coming in with to start things off.
She is a fierce competitor.
That gap to rail is so sketchy.
Oh, there we go.
This is the experience of a champion showing right now.
Coming out just firing backside 50. If you're getting a lot of tricks into, and she still has 20 seconds. Skating a little bit faster than everybody else.
There's that flip trick just to round out the line.
Ooh. Beautiful gap to Smith, grind and board slide fakie.
That was incredible.
She had it all right there. The danger aspects, she got the flip trick in, trying different tricks.
Started off with that huge gap to lip slide through the kinker.
What was so sketchy about that, Sean?
So that bump to rail, the square bar is long and it kinks, and it's actually quite low off the bump, which makes it a little sketchier because when you pop, you're so high above it, and it's hard to judge the consistency of how that slide's going to be. But she just went so fast and just kind of glided right through it.
I cannot wait to see where the score is. 8 even. Look at that, Pamela stepping it up. That's impressive, especially after seeing that line from Poe. I mean, we were all pretty blown away by how good that line was. So to see that difference in score. Next skater in, Momiji Nishia.
Very consistent, very clean skater.
Very relaxed.
Yeah, and we'd expect her to do well in the line section here, put down a good score, so she's in a good position moving into the single tricks. Nice solid dress and grind. Named after legendary skateboarder Eric Dressner, who invented the trick. Nice 50-50 180.
Look at how casual those pushes are.
Very laid-back style and approach to the way that she does her tricks. Always comes out of the tricks, pulls her arms to her body, and just stands up straight. Not a lot of compression. Pretty cool style. Nice lip slide.
Putting together a full line. Where do you think that falls in all of this?
You know, I definitely think that's going to get her a pretty good score. It's not going to top Pamela at all, but, you know, you just kind of want to get one down, especially knowing that one line is going to count no matter what. So if she can kind of relax and try to improve on this one.
There's that nice backside 50-50. Moving into the front side 50-50. Nice 180 out the end. Look at that movement. Almost no movement in the arms, no compression. There's that final lip slide. No compression when she lands. That helps her. She keeps good speed like that as well, too. But maybe not as many flip tricks and things like that.
6.7. All the makings of a solid line. But we still have our top 2 qualifiers ahead. Yumika Oda qualified in second place yesterday. Let's see what she brings to the table here.
Starting out with the rail with the frontside board slide. Nice kick flip that sets her up for the frontside blunt slide. That's an awesome combo.
.50 the out ledge. That's actually really sketchy. You can see so much wax on top of that ledge. There's not a lot of room for air.
Tell us what that's like, Sean. Like, because this is a brand new skate park. It's barely been skated, right? A lot of the rails have still wearing in. How does that affect you when you're out there?
Yeah, you just try to. A lot of the rails and the ledges, you just kind of try to wax it as much as possible to try to get some sort of consistency. That was a big front feeble right there.
I don't know if she popped that in time or not. It was definitely close.
There's that frontside blunt slide. Nice vertical stance on the board.
But off to the side in these contests, when you see it live, you'll see friends of the skaters out there waxing the ledges and rails before their runs just to make sure.
Score to beat right now, an 8 even and a 4.6 for Yumika. It's going to put some pressure on her for that next line.
Yeah, she's really going to have to step it up for the next one.
Next skater in, number 1 qualifier. 2 highest line scores of the day, 7-8 and 7-6. But Pamela with an 8 today. Raisa definitely took note.
Backside lip slide into a backside Smith. So comfortable on her board.
Such a good combo. Kickflip, backflip. It's just incredible.
That flick and that catch shows that natural ability that she has. Such a natural talent on the skateboard. Keeps the speed well, great rhythm. Nice tweaked ollie. She's gonna have to hustle that one if she wants this to count in here, and
So close with that front blunt at the end.
That's gonna put some heat on her. You have to put down a high score in the line section. Pamela just railed one out. There's that backside Smith grind, locked and loaded. Smile on her face. Beautifully caught kickflip into a backside lip slide, just about squeaks out.
I'm curious to see where the judges go with this right here.
Yeah,
It was a good line. 7.1.
That's a solid score. And she took a full pass across the skate park after the crooked grind without doing a single trick. So if she lands that front blunt, it's gonna be good.
Well, lots of great skating so far. Let's take a look back at what happened last year in the G-Shoc time capsule from 2021 season. Now, Man, last year was such an exciting year. Jeff, you were saying yesterday you really think last year was the breakout year for women's skateboarding.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just noticeable everywhere you went. Everywhere you were hearing it all over the place. There's more and more girl skateboarders out there. The level is picking up all the time, and we've seen it at last year's SLS big time, especially with this girl right here, Raisa Leal, total phenomenon. Absolute just annihilator on the board, and she's not bothered by the pressure, she's not bothered by the limelight, and she was 13 years old right here. She's now 14 years old. Such a beautiful thing to see.
After Salt Lake City, we made our way to Lake Havasu, Arizona for probably one of the hottest stops I think we've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely it was. But it didn't seem to bother anybody or any of the skating. Didn't affect the level or the tricks that we saw or anything like that. I mean, look at that stuff we're seeing now. Kickflip, big spin, front board. Incredible level of tricks coming out of girls skateboarding right now.
Very exciting. There was a lack of big rail at that event. Basically just hubbas all around. And it really made for an exciting contest. And capping it off here in Jacksonville back in November for the SLS Super Crown World Championship.
I mean, we're seeing some of the same faces from last year, but then we have a few new people as well this year too. So awesome to see a lot of new faces and a lot of new tricks and new levels.
Right now, your current leader, Pamela Rosa, last year's Super Crown World Champion. Tricks like that are what set her apart, taking those big risks and getting those rewards. Last year was quite the year, but the season is young. So we've got one line under our belts, looking to re-rack, get back to it with Gabby Mazzetto for line number 2.
Well, that's how the seat upgrade's going to work. Nelson, you're not eligible, but hey, sending it back to you guys. Take part in this. Get the seat upgrade.
All right, Gabby Mazzetto, line number 2, looking to improve on that 2.5. There is quite a bit of a difference between her and that top score.
Starts out with a nice 50-50. We'll see if she switches it up from the last line section. Frontside feeble. There's that tweaked ollie into lip slide.
Definitely gave that lip slide an extra little boost right there.
Yeah, she's looking to improve upon her first score. She needs to put down a higher score, really, if she's going to stand a chance once it goes into the single trick section. So what is she going to do right now, Sean, to get that score? She's going to step it up. What's she going to do?
Yeah, I mean, she really needed that kickflip front board. So hard to get speed coming that way on the course, but unfortunately now she's going to have a big uphill battle to try to get into that top 3 spot.
There's that slow motion of the gap to lip slide. Coming out forward. And that clean, tweaked out ollie. Setting her up. We'll see what that does for her. .7. Little improvement.
But that's gonna make it difficult as she heads into the single tricks. Rose Wetzlot with a 6 even on that first line. Our Cariuma fun fact right here, she owns a handmade bracelet company called Sveti. So buy from Rose.
Nice ollie, setting it up for that heel flip frontside board set. That's one we don't see very often, for good reason too.
There's the step up.
Flicking your heel into a front board, it's so risky. You kick the rail a lot of the time, so she definitely handled that nicely.
Getting a lot of heavy tricks in here too.
10 seconds. Ooh!
If she can finish this off nicely and get that trick in, if she speeds this up, this is going to be a huge score.
Yes!
That was incredible.
All right, so that is definitely an improvement. How close does that get her to that top spot. We're talking 2 points. Before we do this, let's take a look at this visible replay. Starting it off with the front 50. So, Sean, what do you think?
I think that was a really solid run. I think it's going to get her pretty close to the top, if not in there. I mean, she heel flip front boarded the rail, heel flip the bump to bump, started on the big section, ended on another big obstacle. So she definitely was ripping. Good flow to the run. I will expect a good score out of this.
I'm hoping that's in the 7s. We'll see if it's enough to outdo Pamela. I just love, look at that, 7 even, and she is stoked. It's always great to see someone come with a plan and then execute it.
And to do a heel flip frontside broadside in the middle of your line, something else.
All right, next skater in, Pope Hinson, the local.
Starts it out with a mean kick flip and a late shove it. What a combo.
So much risk right there. Getting
2 tricks going that way on the course is so difficult, and she gets speed somehow. I don't know how.
Oh! Almost slipped out right there.
There's that crooked grind. Oh, looking to switch it up with the back lip. Didn't quite get that back truck over the rail. But she is stoked. She's the local gal. She is ripping.
It was a look at Poe's dad.
There's that slow motion kick flip. Starting out her line, and then into the late shove it, a trick that you do not see in competition very much at all, almost never. And there's that crooked grind where she was looking to step it up with her second trick. Didn't quite get the line she wanted.
Score in 4.2. She's going to stick with that first run score of the 6.6. But depending on what she has up her sleeve in singles, that could work. Next in, Aori Nishimura. That's it, 2019 SLS Super Crown World Champion.
Crooked grind into a feeble through the kink. Heavy way to start the line out. Looking to beat or up that 6.3. That's not going to help right there.
So hard to lock in and hold front feeble when you're going a little slower.
Is that also a symptom of that rail being a little fatter for kingpin potential?
Definitely. You know, that the kind of the fatter the circle miss, the more surface area that your board is touching. So it can stick and be a little inconsistent. And I think that's why we saw her kind of hang up on the kingpin right there.
So after the front feeble bail and not making that lip slide, Ori said, okay, I'm going to stick with that first run, save it for the singles.
I think once she realized halfway, whenever you bail right in the middle of the line, it's always difficult. How do you recover from that? You know, you lose your speed, you lose your time, you lose your trick potential. There's that first combo that she set herself up with the crooked grind, then it's the feeble through the kink. And as you said, Sean, fat square rail, fat round rails, a lot harder to navigate.
Just makes it a little more inconsistent. You got to be so precise.
Scores in 1.4, but that 6.3 is a decent score. Now, I'm very excited to see what happens here with Pamela. 8 even on the first line, and the way she operates, she usually builds. So let's see what happens.
Takes the same approach. Takes the same gnarly approach. I'm just going to go full speed, do the biggest gap, the lip slide through the kink, no problem. Big spin board to flaky. Such a heavy way she does her tricks too, like never slow at the tricks, picks the biggest obstacles. And very experienced. She knows what to do. She knows how to do it. And when she's in the pole position like this, it's usually really good for her confidence. especially with that nice 8 to start it off. We'll see if this does any better. Oh, it doesn't quite lock in.
Well, we definitely see that she was going to step it up right there. Let's take it down to Alex White.
Hey guys, I was just down here talking to Pamela. She was saying if she got a good run score, she was thinking about going for that gap to back lip on that big round rail. So she nailed that first run, and kind of want to see if she goes for it on the best trick attempts.
That will be pretty amazing if she goes down that road. Pamela definitely going to stick with that first run score of the 8, but at the top right now, we have 2 more skaters. My apologies, 3 more skaters right now. Next in, Momiji Nishia, trying to improve upon that 6.7.
Oh, runs out of course right there. Backside lip slide.
Straight to the pit.
This is one of those courses, though, where each person is able to adapt and find the different lines and different angles, but it can present problems at times when you come out of tricks and you're a little bit squiggly and you're forced to go a direction. It can throw you off the course, throw you into another obstacle.
What does that do for your mindset, Sean? I mean, did the back lip, stepped it up, but then boom, into the grass.
Yeah, it's definitely in the middle of your run, it's hard to recover from that. This course demands not only do you have to land tricks, you got to land them precise. It's so difficult to kind of maneuver around it, and especially that huge pit in the middle. It's tough.
And that right there, unfortunately unable to get that last trick in, but that's what happens when you fall into the pit.
Yeah, that burned a solid 15 seconds off the run.
But Momiji had a good score on the first one, a 6.7.
Nice dress and grind right there. Slow-mo. There's that backside 5-0. Balances it nicely.
.3, going to stick with that first line score. Now, the next 2 skaters definitely looking to better those first line scores. Yumika right now down in 7th place with a 4.6. She's got to put a good score down if she has any shot at taking home the win today.
Yeah, this is make or break a little bit for her right now. She's got to knuckle down. Nice kickflip, keeping good speed into that frontside blunt slide. She's looking good. Solid crooked grind on the Hubbard to 50-50.
This is where we saw things change on that last run. Oh, she changes out the line.
Clever move, though.
She definitely knows the importance of getting down a good score. Front feeble the big rail to end it. Perfectly on time. Now that you have to take a run score, I think she just realized that it's better to land tricks and be less risky just to make sure you don't fall too far behind in the best trick section.
There's that nice combo into the frontside blunt slide. And that crooked grind. She looked very focused on this particular line here. She knew she had to lay down the tricks. It's imperative for her to carry on and stand a fighting chance whatsoever.
That's going to be an improvement. And a 6.2. Look at that, though. Doesn't move the needle a whole lot as far as her actual positioning. Still 7th place. Now, Raisa Leal put together a good run on the last one. Didn't make the final front blunt. Can she do it? Is there going to be any other improvements here to try to get herself ahead of Pamela?
Well, we just saw the adjustments that Yumika made in her line. And we know Raisa.
Kickflip back lip, getting away from her.
So that's going to really make it difficult for her to recover and beat the score that she got in her first line section. So unless she switches it up and turns it up, which she can do, But she's going to need to do that right now if she wants to beat that other score.
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to make this in time.
Honestly, I think she knew. She was like, you know what, 7.1, it's 0.9 behind Pamela, but that 0.9 could be make or break once we get into these single tricks. Just awaiting on that score. There's Pamela right now in the top spot with that 8. Scores in 6.5, so that is going to do it for the line section here in the finals. Pamela Rosa at the top with an 8 even. That is last year's SLS Super Crown World Champion. Can she win again here today? Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment to kick off the single tricks. Street League Skateboarding is brought to you by Shoc, a modern performance energy drink created for today's active generation. By Visible Mobile, single line, unlimited wireless, powered by Verizon. By Cariuma, ethics meet performance. By Tech Deck, start small, go big. And by Skater XL, the most precise board control ever in a skateboarding game. Available now on PC and consoles.
Spin around 10 times, I'll count it for you so you know where you're at. And then the first one to land a kickflip, we're going to hook you up. You guys ready? Jacksonville, you ready to make some noise for these guys one more time? Oh yeah, let's get busy. In 3, 2, 1, go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, 9, 10 times around. All right, who can put down the kickflip first? Who can put down the dizzy flip? Oh! Cole, not phased by the dizziness. And Cole with some good tries as well. So here we go. We're still going to hook you up. You get a Street League hat, same one I'm rocking. We're going to be twins. And Cole, here you go. Signed by SLS Pros. You get the Street League t-shirt. Congratulations. How you feeling, you dizzy? You're on it though. Second try, you stopped it. Round of applause for our contestants out here at Dizzy Flip. Way to represent local skateboarding. Jacksonville at its finest. Let's send it back to you guys. And let's hear it for the women one more time. Jackson, show your love for the women out here battling it out. Yes, there we go. Back to you, Nelson.
All right, thank you, DC. And again, as you can see on the G-Shock countdown clock, about 40 seconds or so for getting...
Welcome back, everyone, to Jacksonville, Florida. It's our first stop here on the 2022 Championship Tour for Street League Skateboarding. We're going to look at the Skater XL highest line score is Pamela Rosa with an 8 even on that first line here in the finals. She came out swinging, bringing out that big spin front board, showing us she's got a lot more in the tank that we didn't see yesterday in the prelims. And there's Pamela currently in the lead as we head into our single tricks. This is a great overview of that course. And the way this works is we re-rack them as we head into the single tricks. So, Gabby Mazzetto is going to go first. Yumika Oda second. Ori Nishimura, Poe Pinson, Momiji Nishia, Rose Zwetslot, Raisa Leal, and Pamela Rosa. Now, this is an exciting moment because Pamela then has the opportunity to adjust. This is how it all breaks down. This is the basics brought to you by Tech Deck. So, the line section is done, but it's 2 45-second line attempts. Then we are working our way into single tricks. We've got 4 single trick attempts. We're taking the top line score and the top 2 single trick scores that count. From there, the bottom 4 skaters are going to be eliminated, and the top 4 go into the super final. Each one of those top 4 skaters is going to get 2 more single trick attempts to try and improve that score. We're ready to go. Gabriella Mazzetto is going to kick it off. Jeff, what do you think we're going to see here in singles?
She's really going to have to step it up, I think, really. Nice, big old tweaked ollie. That was cool. I didn't see that coming.
The way she lifted that up off the bump, that was really sick. You could see this back foot curl right here. Getting onto the side of her shoe.
Big, solid grass gap there, at least 6 or 7 feet wide. Good head high drop. But she's going to have to get a lot more technical. She's going to stand a chance at winning this.
Especially with that really low line score. I mean, a 2.7 is really difficult. So another 2.7. It's a score on the board, but it's going to be tough. Next in, Yumika Oda. Yumika had the 2 highest scored tricks of the day yesterday, 7.4 and a 7.1. This is where she shines. Oh! And the pressure is on. John, what does that do for your confidence not making the first trick?
You know, it's definitely a little... I mean, it just makes the pressure that much more. It just keeps building. But she's a confident skater, as she showed yesterday, and I feel like she can come through.
Ori Nishimura for her first attempt.
Nice crooked grind down the big rail. Maybe just trying to get a score down there and play the game. Definitely looks like that big section is where we're going to see some of the heavy single tricks. There's that crooked grind to start her out.
From a strategy perspective, how much of this is safety versus just go for it and try to win?
You know, I think safety was more for yesterday to try to make it into the finals, and then now that you're in the finals, you kind of just have to go for it.
4.1 on that crooked grind, and Poe Pinson in next.
Solid Smith grind.
I love the reaction when the skaters make the first trick when they land. Just the smile and the stoke.
And imagine what she's going through, too. For her first SLS, this is a hometown. You're the only guy who knows what that feels like, Sean. That's a big deal.
She has the weight of Jacksonville on her shoulders. Yeah, it's definitely really hard. A lot of her family, a lot of her friends are in the crowd, and putting up a good 4.6 on her first trick.
Look at that, Poe Pinson now in the top spot with an 11.2. We're going to see a lot of moving around the leaderboard. Once we have 3 scores on the board, things are going to change. Momiji
stepping it up a little bit from the last tricks we've seen with a clean frontside feeble.
It just looks so easy.
So casual.
Very cleanly done. No compression. No problem whatsoever. When you do a simple trick like that, but do it so well, maintain your speed, all of that stuff. You know, the simple ones sometimes are the toughest ones to do well.
Scores in 5.4. Momiji now in the top spot with a 12.1. Next in, Rose Sweatslot. Third in Salt Lake City, back in 2021. She is a rail attacker. Taking a page out of Poe's book.
Yeah, everyone so far in their first single trick seems to be fairly conservative just to make sure they get a score down. They're all doing similar tricks of a similar level.
You know, I think some of the thought process, too, is to get into that top 4. Give yourself 2 more tries.
Yeah, make yourself a contender.
Yeah.
Also,
give yourself a chance.
If you get the first 2 scores down, then, you know, if you're high up there, you essentially get 4 tries for another trick, which is wild. 4.6. Rose now up in second. All right, next skater in, Raisa Leal, silver medalist at the Tokyo Olympics. No stranger to the podium, though, here at SLS.
She has some of those single tricks, especially down the rail here, that are just so heavy. Nice backside Smith grind. So everyone taking the main rail approach, hitting it with some of the clean basics. This being one of the more difficult basics, the backside Smith grind. Beautifully locked and loaded and controlled.
I was going to say, I mean, a year ago, that right there would have been a heater trick in competition. For that to be her basic now, 5.9. Look at that, Raisa moving up the leaderboard.
But that's how fast we're seeing the progression happen. And it's going to keep happening.
Now, we've got Pamela Rosa with an 8 even. Where's she going to go?
Full speed gap to lip slide.
I'm curious to see how the judges score this, because that's how she started off her line section. So they'll probably dock her a little bit just because they've already seen it. But
still, I do think even if she gets docked a little bit, it's still a heavy enough trick to put up a good score. She did it perfect, too.
oh,
for feeble trick.
she actually gets a 0 on that because the judges have seen it. And so you're not supposed to redo a trick from your line.
And she did not know that?
No, that was a rule that went into place last year.
As a champion from last year.
Well, that's going to change things a little bit, or at least put a little bit more heat in her, or maybe change her general demeanor.
Absolutely. Now, this is not the first time she's heard about this. I mean, this was a rule that was put into place in the 2021 season.
So here's a different view. That gap to lip slide, which she also did in the line section, so she gets a 0 for doing the same trick in the single trick.
Same trick, same obstacle.
Yes. No, from feeble in line. Second line, from feeble.
So
Second line, feeble. No, feeble.
wow, that is going to put some serious pressure on Pamela, though.
I just wonder if that might just get into her head a little.
Honestly, if anything, I think it's going to make her mad, and I think she's going to go harder.
Yeah, that might be a little scary.
She is far from gone right now. I mean, we've got the other big gap to rail. She's got a lot up her sleeve. So the judges are deliberating on that one.
If I heard it right, was she saying that someone repeated a trick as well and got a score, and then she did it and did not get a score?
I'm not 100% sure. She was, I don't know if she was talking about the fact that she feebled the rail. I'm not 100% sure right now. All right, we're going to keep it going with Gabby Mazzetto. Oh! That was awesome.
Anytime turning backside off a drop puts so much room for wheel bite, over-rotating, under-rotating, and she just, it was perfectly spun, perfectly landed.
And that's one of those basics as well, too, right? That's difficult to be super consistent with big drops. And she had to navigate the fact that there's a grass landing there. Very difficult approach into that trick from there. You can see the angle she had to carve to make sure that she didn't land somewhere that was going to cause an issue for her.
I didn't expect that at all.
And she really tweaked that out too, didn't she?
Yeah, she definitely didn't skip it off there. She popped and then turned.
4.6. Next in, Yumika Oda. Backside overcrook.
Love a backside overcrook.
Here's that visible replay of the backside overcrook. Locks in nicely, keeps good speed. Great foot placement.
What makes that trick so hard, Sean?
You know, you have to get all the way over to the toe side of your truck, and if you pinch it on your heel, 7.1, great score. If you pinch it on the heel side, you definitely are locking up and flying backwards, so it's always a little scary no matter how many you do.
Next in, Aori Nishimura.
Oh, going for the nose grind. Slipped out. I like the fact that a lot of these obstacles aren't really a straight approach. You have to do a little bit of carving to get the line that you want, and it's affecting the skaters here and there. Like real street skating, you have to adapt constantly.
Poe Pinson. So even though this is her first SLS, looks like she's got a strategy, huh, Sean?
Yeah, she's handling it very nicely. This back 50 was solid, cross-locked it. It's weird. She's looking like a veteran out there.
Solid backside 50, clearing the grass gap and the sketchy bar that you can see. If she doesn't quite lock in, you catch your feet on it. Element of sketch.
3.3. That's a fair score for a backside 50-50 on the rail.
Absolutely. I totally agree with the judges on that one.
Momiji Nishia coming in for her second attempt.
Nice backside lip slide. Just kind of slowly stepping it up, stepping up the rail tricks. A nice up and over backside lip. Again, she does a great job at always maintaining and controlling her speed, going in and out of tricks. And the judges see that. That helps her overall scores when she does stuff really clean and smooth.
5.4. Momiji up in the top with a 17.5. So now that we've got 3 scores, that's when we're really going to start to see that top 3 take shape. Rose, attempt number 2.
Well, didn't quite get over that frontside board slide there. Slipped out of her. Be a 0 for Rose.
Raisa Leal in 4th place right now, looking to get that 3rd score on the board. Some strategy here, though. Got that first score on. Now, 2 more attempts at that kickflip back Smith. Let's head down to Alex White. Alex, what's going on with the score?
Well, Pamela was a little confused. This rule that went into last year says same trick on the same obstacle will get you a 0. And Pamela was going back and saying, hey, I'm seeing other skaters do the same trick. The clarification from Matt Rodriguez was those skaters are doing the same trick but on different obstacles. So just a little clarification there for Pamela.
Thank you for that, Alex. That is super important right there. And look at this. It seems like maybe it's gotten into Pamela's head a little bit. She does have 2 more attempts, though.
It's never a good feeling landing a trick and getting a 0.
I honestly cannot imagine what that feels like. So with 2 attempts right now, Momiji Nishia is at the top with a 17.5. A full 3 points ahead of Poe Pinson, who's in 2nd, and Yumika Oda, who's currently in 3rd place.
I think they're laughing at the fact that they all have different colored hair, red, white, and blue.
Make sure you download the True Skate app today on the App Store and Google Play. This amazing course here in Jacksonville is coming soon. Grab your phone, take it out, download the app. We'll be back in just a moment. Stick around. We still have 2 more attempts before we re-rack it with the top 4 in the super final. Who's going to take it home today? Can Momiji hang on? Are we going to see Pamela come out swinging? Or could today be for Raisa? Stick around. We'll be back after this.
Thank you very much, Nelson. Well, once again, time to pay off for our amazing partners that are out here for the Street League. And Smirnoff Ice, as you can see, is who we're going to be getting into right now. And I got a couple guests here, our contestants. We got Simone. She's a local girl from Jacksonville. Let's hear it for Simone. And Gabby, coming out of Tampa, but originally from Brazil. Let's hear it for Gabby. All right, so the way this works, there's questions on these hands. I'm going to ask you the question. If you get the answer right, you get the point. So you guys ready to do this? Then we got amazing prizes. We're going to see it Smirnoff right here at the end. So we're going to hook somebody up out here. All right, well, no further ado. Oh, we were talking about this earlier. What was the first concrete skate park in the country? Sorry? Kona? No, that's, well, actually, yeah, no, it's Kona.
Skateboarding is brought to you by Visible Mobile, single line, unlimited wireless, powered by Verizon. By Smirnoff Ice Smash, no filter, full flavor, please drink responsibly. By Shoc, the official watch of the SLS World Tour. And by True Skate, true control, true skill, true skate. Welcome back, everyone, to Jacksonville, Florida. A look at your current leader, Momiji Nishia. After 2 single tricks and 2 lines, Momiji is in the top spot with a 17.5. We have 2 more attempts left in single trick before we drop our bottom 4 and take the top 4 to the super final. We're going to get back in with Gabriella Mazzetto.
Gabriella's really going to have to step it up a little bit here. She wants to improve. Oh, nice frontside feeble. A little bit of acrobatics out the end. It's going to be a 0. It's not going to count for much for her. Next up, we have Yumaka Oda. Excels in the single tricks. Heavy on the big rail. Oh! That would have been a big score.
So close to that. I know it doesn't seem like it the way these girls are coming off that rail, but it's definitely a little steeper of a rail. It's more impact than it looks.
Yeah, and coming from that offside too as well, right?
That little crossbar at the end just doesn't do much, but just mentally it definitely messes with you.
Next up we have Aori Nishimura. Oh! Second time she's bailed on that same trick. Trying to lock into the nose grind.
Yeah, locking a nose grind. It looks like she's coming up just a little short, so it's sliding off the edge.
And next up we have local gal, Poe Pinson. Crowd's going wild for her every time she drops in, going for a huge kickflip. That would be the score. That's what we want to see right there. Real street skateboarding, huge kickflip out of the kicker over the grass gap. That's the kind of tricks we need to see from Poe.
Up next, Momiji Nishia for attempt number 3 here in single trick. So right now on the top spot, 17.5. Oh, going down.
But trying a gnarly trick as well. That's a heavy one.
Rose Sweatslot down in 5th place right now. Only 2 scores on the board. Only needs a 1.5 though to get into 4th place. Look at that.
And she did that so well too, right? So clean.
Still only needs a 6 to get up into 1st place as well.
Now, what's a trick of this level going to get her at this stage in the contest? You know, do we need to see gnarlier tricks right now for her to take the gold? What does she need to do?
She's going to definitely need to get a little gnarlier to take the gold, but she just wants to get in that top 4, give herself a couple more attempts to give her a little bit more cushion. But
look at
that's
that.
a solid score.
5.5 moves Rose up into 2nd place, pushing Po Pinson down to 3rd. And Race Leal down in 5th place right now, position she's not used to. But only has 2 scores on the board. If she can do this, it could be huge.
Oh! And she does.
Wow. Sean, what do you think this is going to do for her score? I mean, we've never seen that.
That was incredible. That fat circle rail, how long it is so hard to hold the backsmith that long, and kick flipping into it just makes it so much gnarlier.
Yeah,
I mean, we are witnessing progression here right now. Raisa Leal, a prodigy in women's skateboarding. And an 8.5, look at that score! Raisa now in the top spot with a 21.5.
Well,
Not to mention 3 more attempts. If she can stay there, she's gonna have 3 more attempts. But Pamela Rosa needs to post up a good score. All right, playing a little strategy right there. Needs a 6.6 to get up into 4th and a 9.6 to get into 2nd. What do you think, Sean? Was that a smart move?
That was definitely a smart move. That was championship experience. She, you know, all she wanted to do, she only has 1 score posted, so she just needs to land 2 solid tricks, get into that top 4, and then she'll have 2 more attempts.
But do you think that's enough? That's the real question. Look at that. 3.6 moves Pamela up into 4th.
But she still has 1 more. That's only 2 scores posted, so she has 1 more try to land 1 more solid trick just to get her in that top 4 spot.
All right, we're back to the top of the order. This is our last attempt before we drop the bottom 4. So Gabrielle Mazzetto right now in 8th place. Needs a 7.3 to get into 4th place. Whoa! Really well done, but is that 7.3 worthy?
It's going to be right on the edge. We'll see. The judges will decide. Definitely a heavy trick, though, to go over that gap and over the sketchy rail. Doing that trick, too, where you're a little bit loose. A lot of room for error. If you slam on that, you've got to deal with the bar going backwards, which is never a good deal. And she did it with conviction, too. A lot of speed going in and coming out of that trick. It's going to be a good score.
Po Pinson right now on the bubble in 4th place. Scores in 5.2, not enough. Gabby Mazzetto will not be making it on to the super final. You can see that little smile right there from Po. Next skater, Yumika Oda, also on the outside. Only needs a 1.3 to get into 4th place. Needs an 8.3 to get up into 1st. Oh, and she goes for broke.
Wow, way to step up that level. It's the first one to flip into the rail, into the big rail that we've seen from the women so far.
Talk us through it, Sean.
Yeah, I love that strategy for her. She only needed a 1.3, but you know there's some gnarly skaters coming after her that can push her down. So she wanted a little bit more cushion. That perfectly flicked kickflip front board. Landed it, and that should give her a little bit more room to keep in that top 4 spots.
Is it enough? No, 7.4. It gets her up in the top, but it does not outdo Raisa. So Yumika Oda in second place right now with a 20.7. Oh, it is getting close. All right. Ori Nishimura needs a 6.8 to get into fourth. She is not out of this right now, but she's got to put it down.
Oh, she took the same approach the third time in the row. Let's hope she's okay there.
She looks like she's all right, but she will not be moving forward. Next up, Po Pinson. Po now out of the top four. She's got to do this right here. She needs a 6 to get into fourth.
She has to make this trick.
Oh, unable to do it. That is going to be it for Po Pinson. But the crowd getting behind her. What a great showing. First ever SLS in her hometown.
Yeah, great experience for her to feel that and get that confidence. And have the crowd behind her too. That's going to feel good when people support you from your local community like that. Awesome showing today of skaters.
All right, Momiji. Best finish, a second place. Needs a 9.5 to get up into first. Oh! Unable to get the big spin front board.
Yeah, as
Now,
you stated, Sean, that's a huge rail, right? We're starting to see those flips and spins into the bigger rails, and it's heating up.
all right, Rose, not safe. She has to put down a good score because Pamela's going to go for broke on the next one. Currently in fourth. Oh. She went for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the flick that she needed to get onto that rail.
Now she's got to cross the fingers and the toes.
I wouldn't want to have Pamela Rosa skating right behind me when I'm right on the edge of the bubble.
All right, your current leader, Raisa Leal. She is going to be moving on. Oh, all right. Going for the heel flip front board. So it all comes down to this. This next skater, our 2021 SLS Super Crown World Champion. She is outside the bubble. She needs a 5.4 to push Rose out and get herself into that top four. Can she do it?
Well, we know she has the gnarly bag of tricks. It's just what she chooses to go at right now.
Oh, she puts down the backsmith. Is a backsmith going to be enough? 5.6.
It's definitely a gnarly trick. She did it so well.
But I don't know if it's been scoring higher than that so far today.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. She couldn't have done it any better.
Now, that was the first trick that Raisa did. She got a 5.9 for that. But we're going to dock points for being the second person to do it. Did she do it as well? This is going to be close.
Rose is feeling a little sketchy right now.
And a 6 even. Pamela Rosa up into third place, pushes Rose Zwetslot out. And our top four is locked as we head into the super final. Stick around, everyone. The skateboarding is going to continue to heat up here in the women's final.
Looks like it is set with Momiji, Pamela, Yumika, and Raisa will get 2 more trick attempts. All right, so welcome back to the booth. Tim, what a crazy final so far.
Yeah, I usually kickflip backside Smith line. That's supposed to be one stupid video part and then done again.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we are going to be moving on those top 4. We'll get 2 more trick attempts. Super final coming up, and right now we're going to go check in with
so definitely keep that energy up, Jacksonville. But right now, it's time for our Skater XL promo we're going to do. We got Marcus, local skateboarder here from Jacksonville. Make some noise for Marcus. Yes. I'm in to skate too. All right, so here's the rules. We're going to roll some in-game footage from Skater XL. And you're going to just need to complete the tricks that we see up on the screen. So let's take a step back and check it out here. 1 second. Nice kickflip. There you got some good pop. All right, so you got the kickflip, heel flip, 360 flip. You got those? All right, feeling good? Make some noise for Marcus out here in Jacksonville. Kickflip, heel flip, tray flip. Let's see it. Marcus with that pop. Heel flip done proper. Tray flip, all he's got.
Street League Skateboarding has been brought to you by Shoc, a modern performance energy drink created for today's active generation. By Smirnoff Ice Smash. No filter, full flavor, please drink responsibly. By Cariuma, ethics meet performance. And by Tech Deck, start small, go big. This is the final. We have now dropped our bottom 4 skaters, and we have re-racked with the top 4 for their last 2 attempts. We are lovingly calling the super final. It all comes down to this. We've seen some amazing skating so far, but who is going to take home the win here today in Jacksonville? First skater in is going to be from Japan, Momiji Nishia.
Then we have Pamela Rosa, 22 years old, from Brazil. One of the heaviest contenders that we have in women's SLS.
Then we've got 15-year-old Yumika Oda from Japan.
And Raisa Leal, 14 years old, only 14 years old, from Brazil, setting the standard in women's skateboarding.
This is going to be so exciting. It all came down to that last attempt right there with Pamela Rosa. I cannot wait to see what transpires. This has been such a progressive final. We've seen flips in, big spins. This is amazing.
What is Raisa saving for these last 2 tricks? That's what I want to know. Because we see new tricks right at the ends of these finals, right? People trying things you've never seen before, tricks we've never even seen done before live.
So this is where Momiji's going to need to put 2 solid scores down here. Unable to get the big spin front board. Needs a 9.5 to take home the win. I mean, that's a score that we have not seen out here today. Next skater in, Pamela Rosa.
She is eyeing up that bump to rail.
How is that obstacle, Sean?
It's very, very heavy. It's a 6 foot gap into a very long, fat, round rail. Not a lot of room for error. It's funny being on the course early as a skater and looking at things that are possible. And I was looking at it and I was wondering if anyone was going to hit it. And now we have Pamela eyeing it up on the women's contest.
Getting ready for it. The crowd is getting behind her. Right now, Pamela's in 3rd place with a 17.6. She only needs a 7.6 to get up in the top spot. Here we go. What do you think?
That was incredible.
Lip, is that going to be enough?
I mean, that's definitely going to be one of the heavier scores of the contest.
Let's have another look at that. Where did she go wrong?
That rail is so far away. I think when she ollied, she just kind of pushed her board out, which created, the board was a little ahead of her and she slipped out, but she got out of it nicely. A lot could go wrong.
Seeing that first attempt, do you think she's got it on the next one?
She has a pretty good track record with gap to rails in Jacksonville, so I think she has it.
All right, Yumika Oda needs an 8 even to take home the win.
Oh!
Kickflip front feeble. Where did that come from?
That was crazy. And especially that little crossbar at the end, so much can go wrong. She flipped it perfectly into that pinched lock front feeble. It was dipped, it was perfect. She's so excited to roll away from that.
Putting that down first try sends a huge message right there to Raisa.
And the speed at which she did it with, too. Coming in and going out at that speed.
Needs an 8 even to get there. Where are the judges going?
Yes!
9.4!
9 club. 9 club.
Absolutely amazing. We got to see that again. A 9.4.
The judges saw that. Like, you look at how fast she's going into that trick. She flicks it beautifully. She locks, she dips it, and she comes out perfectly. Maintains great speed. Look at how much control she has here, where she locks it and loads down, comes forward. The judges saw that. They gave her extra scores for the speed she went in, the speed she went out, and how well she did the trick. The form was flawless.
That was so well done. Yumika Oda now in the top spot with a commanding lead. Look at this, 23 to Raisa's 21.5. But that is not a crazy score to beat. Raisa only needs a 7.5 to get back into first. Can she do it right now? That's going to build the pressure. Wow.
Well, we didn't see that coming. Change of heat.
Momiji Nishia needs a 9.5 to get into second place. That's a huge score. I mean, we just saw the 9.4 from Yumika on the kickflip front feeble. Momiji going for podium. Unable to do it, so our podium is now locked. We've got our top 3, Yumika Oda, Raisa Leal, and Pamela Rosa. But what will be the order? All right, things just heated up quite a bit. Pamela now needs a 9.1 to get into first place. Is a back lip on that a 9.1?
You know, it's tough to say because we haven't seen a score on it yet, but I think it will be really close. It should get her right around it.
But like you said, we have not seen a score on it yet because it's huge. So to go from nothing to a gap back lip is pretty wild.
Yeah, and it actually would have been helpful to see a score on the gap front lip. That could have been a good gauge, but for her getting a 0 on that because she did it in her line, now it's definitely, you know, it's got to cross your fingers and hope for the best.
This is it. Can she do it? Coming in with some speed. Unable to get the gap to back lip. Pamela Rosa is going to be taking home third place. It all comes down to Raisa now. Yumika scored a drop, a 7.4. If she puts something solid down, she can increase that lead. Unable to do it. So now she needs to sit and hope.
Now, what's going through her mind and what do we have coming up now?
You can
That's
see
what I
it
want
right
to talk
there.
about right here. Raisa Leal
She only needs a 7.5. That is not a crazy score for her. Look at her. That last score of hers, an 8.5. Can she do it? Is she going to go for the heel flip front board again?
I think so. She locked in 2 good ones in a row. Let's see if she can put it down right here.
Comes down to this. And she does it!
Oh. Wow!
Oh, wow. Look at this. 14 years old. She handles pressure unlike anybody we've seen in women's competition.
I mean, she just has those tricks, though, Andrew. She just has those gnarly, gnarly tricks. It's hard to compete with that. I mean, look at the level of technicality. A beautiful heel flip, frontside, board slide, a trick we don't see people do often. It's a fairly basic, but a hard basic.
Especially on a gap to rail like that, it's definitely hard to judge. You're kind of coming over the back of it instead of from the side. Flicked perfectly in. She's one of the fiercest competitors I've seen in any sport.
Now, I'm going to call this. That's not as high as a kickflip front feeble, but she didn't need that high of a score. She only needs a 7.5. Is it going to be enough? You see Yumika and Raisa, our top 2 currently.
Look at that camaraderie, though. They're already stoked.
And a 7.6, she takes home the win!
Wow. Way to start out the season.
What a moment right there. Your winner, Raisa Leal, came down to the last moment.
The future of SLS right there. Our 2022 SLS Jacksonville champion. Raisa Leal. Ripping.
Let's have another look at that last trick, the moment that clinched the victory.
Flicked right to the middle of her board. She locked in 2 good ones before and just pulled it off on the 3rd try. Such a legendary career already at 14 years old.
What a final that was. Your final standings right here. The podium, 3rd place, Pamela Rosa. In 2nd place, Yumika Oda. And in 1st, Raisa Leal coming in hot with that last trick and taking home victory. Let's check in with Alex White down there on the course with our winner.
I'm down here with Raisa Leal. Raisa, the progression of women's skateboarding, you took the win today. What was that like for you?
Bom, eu quero agradecer primeiramente aos meus pais que estão lá em Imperatriz me assistindo, junto com os meus amigos e meu irmão, meus irmãos, o Arthur, estou com muita saudade dele. E essa vitória aqui é para eles e agradecer a Deus e todos os meus patrocinadores. E é isso, let's go guys!
Thank you so much, Raisa. Anything you want to say to Jacksonville here?
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Raisa. Good job out there. Back to you guys.
What a force to be reckoned with at 14 years old.
Yeah,
coming in, taking a 4th title here. This right here, the Shoc Reach Your Peak moment. Yumika Oda 9.4 in the super final with that kickflip front feeble, putting it down when she needed to. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in here in Jacksonville. For the women's final today, you are witnessing progression unlike we've ever seen before. From myself, Jeff Rowley, Sean Malcho, Alex White, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon for the men's competition.